I don't know if anyone's out there or not, so I'll just say hello and wait till I can see people are here. I just want to thank you all for coming when you get here. There we go. I was a little late getting in, not too late. Well, hello, Melinda. How you doing? Uh, you appear to be the first one here, so thank you for coming. I'm just getting everything set up, running a little behind. Try to had an interesting day today. Sammy, how you doing, Sammy? Long time. Hope you're having a good day. Uh, I was wondering if people were going to show up. I did get in a little late uh, by a couple of minutes, but the link's up there. So if anybody wants to come up, come on up. I getting every phone set up. Like I said, I had an interesting day today. Uh, Called my brother-in-law, my oldest sister's husband, to see how my sister's doing. She is doing a whole lot better. Matter of fact, she's no longer in the rehabilitation center, but she is in a her and her husband are living now in a assisted living home. So I don't know if they're ever planning on moving back to their own house. There's, but that is a big improvement over what she was doing. Hey, Maris, how you doing? Or Maurice, however you pronounce that. Maris. It's been like I said, an eventful day today for me. I was Z-Man. How you doing? I don't recall seeing you before, Z-Man. How'd you find the live stream? And welcome. Uh, no, I'm not. I don't watch wrestling. I'm not really into it. Uh, I'm more football and basketball. Uh, I have watched wrestling. I'm just not that big into it, so I just really don't watch it anymore. I used to when I was years ago, but when they started doing all those pay-per-views, I quit watching because I wasn't paying to watch it. Although I knew a lot of people that did it, and as a matter of fact, a lot of people that still do it. But I happen to be a more of a football, mostly football, but I also like basketball. I'm originally from Indiana, so I'm really enjoying it. Uh, my Pacers are up 2-0. I'm also an Indianapolis Colts fan. Like I said, from Indiana. I now live in New York State, outside of the Capital District of Albany, the Capital District of New York, which is Albany. So I live right outside of there. So yeah. Well, actually, it'll start in August, but that'll be preseason. The which I'll watch. I'll watch the preseason uh, just to see how some of the guys are doing. We got a new defensive coordinator this year, and so it's going to be a new defensive plan they'll be running. So I'd like to see how's that goes. We still have the same head coach. We have a quarterback controversy right now. We have two guys that are vying to be the starter. Last year's starter, Anthony Richardson, which has had his up and downs, and then we got what the guy uh, Daniel Jones, which they call Danny Dimes. So we'll see what's going. The main game is on September. You don't like to watch preseason. I don't. Hey, Sammy, that's fine. A lot of people don't like preseason, but like I said, I'm going to watch it because of the fact that we have a new defensive coordinator, and I want to see how it looks. I don't watch every game. I will not watch the last game of the preseason, but I want to. The main thing I want to see is how they use the two quarterbacks. It might give me a clue as to who they're going to start the season with as being the starter. There's a lot of speculation it's going to be Anthony Richardson, but we'll see. Uh, I would love to see him work out. They were, talking about how much potential he had to be the. I'll tell you in a minute. For he's a great deep ball thrower. Great, very athletic. But Daniel Jones is a little more accurate on the short and intermediate passes, or has been, and he's very athletic. So Anthony Richardson's supposedly been working on his footwork and trying to do better on the short passes and the intermediate passes. If he does that, he'll be the starter. I just want to see if he can do that. So I'll watch probably either part of the first game uh, and then part of the second, and then I'll be out by the third. I just want to see how each one handles how much time they get, so I can decide whether or not who I think should be the starter. It doesn't matter. The coaches will make that decision. But that's all right, Sammy. I happen to like a couple teams. My main team, which I'll always root for against everybody else, is the Colts, the Indianapolis Colts. Another team I like, which is in the same conference, the American Football Conference, is the Buffalo Bills. I happen to like the Bills. But I am a Colts fan first and foremost. And then I'm not a big Dallas Cowboys fan, so a lot of times I root for whoever's playing them. But that was my youngest brother's team. My older brother's team was the Green Bay Packers. But we pretty much all happened to like the Pacers. Although we were, my younger brother and I both were big Larry Bird fans who played for the Celtics. So when he was playing for the Celtics, we rooted for the Celtics. Not because we were Celtics fans, but because we were Larry Bird fans. I figured that out shortly after Larry Bird quit playing because I started paying more attention to the Pacers. I still like the Celtics. I'll still root for them unless they're playing my Pacers. But yeah, like I said, we're in the Eastern Conference Finals, and we're up 2-0, and we were supposed to be we're the underdog team. So we beat the New York Knicks at their house both games so far. It's the best of 7, so anything can still happen. But we're up 2-0, so that gives us the inside shot at winning it. Then it'll be the finals, and that's next month. So we'll see how that goes. That could be, Sammy. I like I said, I really don't follow the Packers or the. Hey, Jerry. Thanks, Jerry, for coming. That's all right. Like I said, I did get some good news about my sister. She's no longer in the rehab. She's now in assisted living. Her and her husband both. They moved into assisted living. As far as I know, it's just going to be until she's fully recovered. I could be wrong. I'll find that out. I'm not going to go up and see her till June sometime because they're still getting adjusted to where they're living. Plus, so actually this weekend, as Jerry can tell you, it's a Memorial Day weekend. It's one of the busiest weekends for cars on the road. A lot of this one and Thanksgiving are very busy weekends for people driving, and I just don't feel like driving in that kind of traffic. And then a friend of mine wants to go up. They're a good friend of my sister's. Wants to go up and see my sister. They live down here. I want to take them up when I go up. but they're want to wait till after their daughter graduates from high school next month. So we'll go up after her daughter graduates. We'll go see my sister. It'll be up there and back one day. We'll go up and spend a couple hours visiting with my sister. You don't want to wear her out. Like I said, she's still recuperating, and she is better. She's getting around on her own. She walks a lot. I don't know how about a lot, but she walks for exercise and therapy. They want her to walk more all the time. So she's doing that. So, yeah. Thank you, Jerry. For me, Jerry, it's another day off. I get Saturday, Sunday, and Monday off. That's all right, Sammy. I appreciate you being here. I usually do my laundry on Monday, just because most Mondays people are working, so it's not as busy at the laundromat. I'll do my laundry Monday just like normal. It's to me, it's a good day to do things, and I take like today. I had a friend come by and visit for a little bit. I walked down, got my mail. I got a new mattress cover. My other one got stained. This is and it wasn't stain resistant. So luckily enough that the mattress itself didn't get stained because the part that it got is not stain resistant, that part, but the whole mattress isn't. So I bought one that's it's stain resistant, it's waterproof. I just got it today, so I probably won't put it on till tomorrow. I have to tear my bed down and get it ready. Hey, Ian, thank you for coming. Appreciate you being here. But so, like I said, we'll do that tomorrow. I'll take my bed apart and put the new mattress cover on. It's and then put my bed back together. And when I say bed apart, I mean I gotta take the sheets off and the pillowcases and take the mattress off so I can get the mattress cover and then start putting it on. Then put the mattress back on the bed, and then then put sheets and pillowcases back on there. So I'll do that tomorrow. I could wait till Monday, and then do it when I do my laundry. So I may wait till then. Who knows? But I'll get it done this weekend. I got news on my teeth. I've finally been given permission. I got a call Tuesday. I got a couple dentists I got to call, see if I can get an appointment. If not, get an early appointment. I have one I can get in September, and so I'll make that one for September. But I'm trying to see if I can get in earlier, get this taken care of, see how much money it's going to cost me. If it's going to cost me a bunch of money, I'm leaning towards not doing it and just wait until I can move to the Philippines and get it done because it'll be cheaper that way. But if I can afford it, I want to get it done before I go because I don't really like the way I try not to smile too much so people can't really see my. But if I smile really and laugh, you can see it. And so I'm not real comfortable with that. So I want to get that taken care of now if possible. If not, it'll wait till I make it to the Philippines. Hey, Carla Lee Wilkins, thank you. And I see you see what to do. So very good. I'm glad that you realize that's all you had to do. Now, you could have just typed in 3 L's of any kind, capital or not capital, doesn't matter. So now I'm glad you're here. Can you tell me how you found my live stream? Do you follow somebody else that follows me, or you just happen to see I have one and came up and joined us? That's tea. For those that you don't know, I drink tea a lot. It's a. Oh, okay, Al. You were all right. You were the one that was here. Let me do something here, Curly. Hang on a minute. All right, there you go. We'll make you a monitor. You've been here before. So welcome back. So I just wanted to give you the blue jacket. So if you want to, I don't mind drop your channel link, but if you have a certain video you want people to watch and you know how to drop it by having the monitor, you can do that. I can't do it. I'm pretty much uh, illiterate on tech. Oh wait a minute, I got Dan coming up. Hey Dan, I'm sorry, I just now noticed you. Hey Dan, how you
Oh,
doing?
hey, how's it going?
Not bad. I was just telling everybody my sister's out of the rehabilitation center.
Oh yeah, I heard that. That's
Yeah,
nice.
that is good news for me. I just found out today.
Oh
My
wait, I'm
friend came
turned
over and
sideways.
wanted.
I mean vertically.
Yeah. But anyway, my friend wanted to find out how my sister was doing, so they came over. I said they're they're better friends than I am with
That's
them.
nice. That's nice.
But hey, Pinky Gray, how you
Hey,
doing?
have you seen Larry? I have a
Go ahead.
question for you. Is Pink here? Hi, Pink. Hey, I have a question for you. Is Sam? Have you seen Sam Gloves today?
Not today, no. He's not got here yet today. At least he's not said anything.
All right. Well, look. I've been promising Sam gloves for the longest time. See that
Okay,
I would wear
if
gloves.
he comes in, I'll make sure you know. I take it you're
Yeah,
on your phone, right?
yeah. I'm on my phone
All right, Pinky Gray
and I'm
just said
wearing.
hi to you and me.
I I'm able to see the chat now because I got you facing the TV set. But see, look at that.
Yeah.
Isn't that beautiful? I love latex in the morning, Larry. I'm telling you, I love latex in the morning.
Okay.
I did it in honor. I promised Sam gloves I would wear the gloves, right? So I didn't want to back down from my promise.
I understand. I understand.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, now I'm taking them off. So that's that.
All right. Now,
Anyway,
can
I'm
you hook
only up
your
here for a moment because Minnie and I we're headed
Hi,
downtown.
man, Minnie.
Yeah,
Hi.
we gotta
Hi.
go shopping. We gotta head to town. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
All
you
right.
heard me
I just
talking
want to
about my
come in and
teeth,
say
right?
hello. Yeah. Hey, you look better. You look better in gloves, probably.
It might distract from my teeth.
All your
My
teeth
friend.
are going to be fine. I went into, by the way, this whole teeth thing has I went into Amazon. I saw that they have fake teeth that you could soak them in water and then shove them up there. And so
Yeah.
I'm gonna order some just in case I get my partials fall out or my implants or like what happened the other day when I had a crown came loose in the back. You still
Yeah.
take pictures and smile. And so I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna order up some uppers and lowers. They're about $40 American from Amazon. They'll take a week to get here. And then
Yeah.
when they get here, I'll show you how they work. It's absolutely amazing, that they have partials available right there on Amazon that you can mold to your own teeth. I'm going to try them out and then I'll report back.
Okay. Well, like I
All right.
was
By the
saying,
way,
go
there's
ahead.
there's one more thing that I want to talk about before we head off, and that is that I had a terrible experience with Food Panda here in the Philippines. Now, a lot of people don't know that Food Panda is it's a company that was formed by Jollibee and Panda Enterprises, the owner of the Panda restaurant chain. And what's been
Okay.
happening is that they went out of business. Food Panda went out of business in Thailand because the competition is so fierce. So last night here in the Philippines, it makes me think that they're in trouble here because what happened last night was I ordered a pizza from Shakey's to be delivered, and in 2.5 hours, the pizza had still not come. So when I pushed the help button on the app for Food Panda, I asked them, what is going on? Oh, so sorry, sir. They blamed it on Shakey's, saying that they were so busy, right? Later, Food Panda refunded the money to me. I'm going to do a short video on this to show everybody. they did an automatic refund and said, so sorry, there are no drivers available in order to deliver the pizza. So they blamed it first on Shakey's, saying that they were very busy, and then they admitted that the problem was on their side. So I started thinking about this. We don't have Grab here, Jerry. We only have Food Panda. We're just a small little provincial town. And so what I'm thinking is they're about ready to pull the plug on the Philippines. And so I'm predicting here live on Lazy Larry Lee's program, be careful, especially if you pay in advance with Food Panda, because I think they're going to pull the plug on it just like they did in the Philippines. I mean, in Thailand on May 23rd. They are bleeding money. They're bleeding money like crazy. They have yet to turn a profit in Southeast Asia. And they keep talking about revamping it, you know. And no, I don't think they're going to make it. I don't think they're going to make it, Larry. I just wanted to give.
I can believe that, but I mean, I don't know about Food Panda, but the food delivery Grabs and stuff here, they do a pretty good job.
You know, I think the reason why Grab and Uber Eats and all those guys are doing such a great job is because they don't just concentrate on food delivery. They have a whole bunch of product. You know, they have door-to-door delivery of products that come through LBC. They've got a whole bunch of other stuff other than food. They drive passengers around in their cars, and unfortunately, here in Southeast Asia, they just got motorbikes. And so it's a one-way, it's a one product, it's a one pony show. Is that what they say?
Yeah.
It's
one horse town.
A one-trick pony. That's what I meant to say.
One-trick pony or one-horse town.
Yeah.
Well, also, I have food that's delivered to me once in a while. From
Yay.
BJ's. From BJ's.
I love the service.
And they use, I think, I can't remember if it's Grab or Food Hub. They use one of the two things to deliver. And
yeah, Grab is great in the city. I don't want to say anything disparaging about Grab at all. They're fantastic in the city. We love them. Cebu, Manila with the fellas, and other places, Davao City, I'm sure Davao, they do a great job. And so, but Food Panda, you know, they're bleeding money. And I don't think Jollibee, the most successful food chain in history, definitely the most successful food chain in the Philippines. I don't think they like the idea of bleeding money, but they're bleeding red all over the place with this Food Panda service. They need to cut the cord. They need to stop operations. They need to go out of business. It's a business concept that simply didn't work. And on the other side, Panda never did take off in Southeast Asia. And you know something? Gee, who was the rocket scientist that thought of this idea? I know what. We'll open up a restaurant chain in Asia, a fast food restaurant concept. We'll call it Panda, and we'll sell Chinese food. Who is the rocket scientist who came up with that idea?
Must have been me.
I mean, it's hilarious when you think about it. It doesn't make any sense. I need to be the CEO of one of these companies, and I will steer them straight. Larry, thanks so much for tolerating me. And
I got a question for you, Dan. See if you know. Do you know if Panda started it? Is Panda out of the U.S.?
I believe so. I believe they are.
That's what I was thinking. I could be wrong, but that's what I was thinking was out of the U.S.
Yeah, I think they are. I think this concept works great in L.A. It works great in Sacramento, California. It probably even works fantastic in European countries. Even Russia would have success with the chain. But I think as far as Asia goes, they need to come up with another plan. But I think they tried to save it. I think they tried to save it by doing this Food Panda thing, and it simply didn't work. Over here, if you go into the Food Panda app, Jollibee right now is the only one offering. Jollibee and Shakey's are the only two that I've seen this morning that are offering delivery. Everybody else has quit them.
Yeah.
You know?
Jerry says Taco Bell failed twice in Mexico.
Oh, Jerry, I did not know that, but I'm so pleased to hear that. That's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. Oh yeah, let's we'll be marketing geniuses, and we'll open up a Chinese food place in China. I mean, it's the funniest, damnedest thing that I've ever heard. You know?
Well, you're going. Let's really look at Taco Bell because I can speak to that. Taco
Yeah.
Bell's nowhere near official or near true Mexican food.
Yeah, but you know what it does do? Taco Bell fills the void. You know, if you're here in Manila, if you're here in the Philippines and you got the Taco Bell,
Yeah, no. That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about going into Mexico. They're going
yeah,
against
it's a crazy
authentic
idea.
Mexican food, and they're nowhere near authentic.
Exactly.
Jerry will tell you that.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, if you have nothing else around, because I lived in places where there was no real authentic Mexican food, and they're there, so that does give you a little bit of taste. But if you got a choice between authentic Mexican food made by real people that know how to make it, whether they're Mexican or not, they really know how to make the Mexican food. And Taco Bell, I'm going to the place that knows how to make authentic Mexican food.
Oh yeah, definitely. You wouldn't go to Taco Bell. Hell no. It's a crazy idea. I think
unless you're broke, because they're cheap. They are cheap.
Well, they were cheap. Now they're kind of expensive. But the whole thing is that as people move around the world, as more people assimilate into other cultures, it may be a viable idea. Maybe 100 years from now, it might be viable.
Yeah, like I said, though, we got places that are not authentic Mexican food, but they're much better than Taco Bell. And I do know one place that is authentic Mexican food that's not too far from me. And
yeah, you know, I'm thinking that, you know, if Taco Bell had 59-cent bean burritos, I would be there every single day. But they don't have 59-cent burritos no more. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All right, but hey, we got Rosaritas, but they're very expensive here. So
yeah, well, like
$3 a can.
We got the ones that are close to authentic Mexican food. No, I don't think they are. It's Chipotle and Moe's. It's good food. It's a lot better than Taco Bell. But I do have one authentic Mexican restaurant, but it's not a fast food place. You have to go in, sit down, order. So it's not cheap.
Right.
So if I'm going there, then I'm going in for the whole experience. It's like when I go back to Terre Haute. When I was living there before I moved away, Taco Bell was the only thing you were going to get that was Mexican. Now you go back home and there's a couple authentic Mexican restaurants. You know, actual Mexican people and people that you know came from Mexico open up some restaurants, and they do quite well. And it's a lot more closer to what you would get in Mexico or in Texas than what you.
Oh
get,
yeah, love it, love it. But so there's nothing like Tex-Mex food, right? Am I right, Jerry?
I first had true Mexican food in California.
Yeah.
And that was California Mex, or whatever you want to call it, but it was run by Mexicans in California. First time I ever had a burrito was in
I'm
San
ashamed
Diego.
to say that I've never had Tex-Mex food. I don't think I have anyway. And people, my friends, they say it's delicious food. So
Jerry says Tex-Mex and Mexican food. That's
Tex-Mex and Mexican food, yeah. And I'm not sure we have any Tex-Mex places in California. I'm sure there are.
Well, they're probably more like Cal-Mex. I mean, you know, they're going to have a little bit of California Mexican flavor because, you know, Tijuana is right across the border from Southern California.
Oh yeah, sure.
I mean,
sure.
You can walk. You get to the border, you can walk to Tijuana if you want. It's not real.
Street tacos. I've done it many, many times in my life. Many, many times.
Yeah. But
Mini 2, come to think of it. Mini 2 has been there several times also. All right, well we're gonna head off doing some grocery shopping. It was nice seeing everybody. Don't forget about Pink's giveaway on May 28th, I think. And we'll see everybody later.
And I'll tell Sam if he shows up, he missed the gloves.
He missed the gloves, but he could always do the replay.
Yeah, tell him to go back in and watch the first half hour.
There you go. There you go, Spam Gloves. Hey, should I snap them for him? No, I don't think I'll go that far. All right, Larry, we'll see you later.
All right, you and
Bye,
Matt Minnie have a
everybody.
great day, man.
And Minnie says
Bye, Matt Minnie.
bye.
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 Oh yeah, you do have us on the TV. That's cool. I watch a lot of times. That's what I do. I sit in my recliner and watch the YouTube channels. I don't normally get on the person's live stream that way, but I'll sit there and watch it on the TV, and I'll comment on my phone. I'll hook them together, and so. Oh, that was good. That was good. I don't know how long we're going to go. Jerry doesn't seem to want to come up, but if anybody else, Pinky, if you want to come on up. Carly, like I said, the only thing I request is that you show your face. So when you come up, so I know you're actually coming up as you, and you're not afraid to show who you are. I've had a few people come in, I let them up, and they weren't showing their face, and they started getting derogatory, cussing and stuff like that. I don't want that on my channel. I don't want people coming up and putting other people down. My channel is about being kind to each other, for one thing, and being supportive if you can. If you can't, that's fine. Just don't go cussing each other out, and don't go getting mean. I myself, I hope to be able to move to the Philippines early next year, but I may have to, like I said, with this, I don't know. I got to make sure I have enough money that when I go over there, I can, the first couple of months, I can live without my money if I have to. I mean, I'm going to have money. I don't mean I'm going to have that much money on me. I just want to make sure I can get a hold of that much money. And then in case something happens that I can't get my Social Security check for a month or two, I have enough money in the bank that I can pull that out to cover myself for a couple of months. Plus, when I get there, I'll probably be at an Airbnb or a hotel or something until I can find an apartment and sign a long-term place. And as most of you know, I want to start off in Cebu. I'm willing to. Hey, Victor. Your ugly mug is too terrible to photograph. Hey, it can't be worse than this. But so like I said, yeah, I want to start off in Cebu. But Cebu, like I said, it's a great place, I think, to start. Whether or not it's going to be a great place for me to stay. Hey, Mike Hunt, long time, man. Thanks for coming. If you want, come on up. A great place for me to start. I want to sign at least a 3 or 4 month, maybe a year, a long-term lease. When I find a place, only because if I don't like the area, it gives me a base of operations to check out some other areas, which I want to check out those areas anyway, but some of those areas. But it'll be, if I don't like Cebu because it's too large or whatever, it'll give me a place to operate, to check out some other places without having to, I got to make a decision quick. No, because I know the first couple of months, I'm going to be happy as there's an old country saying, I'll be happy as a pig in slop. In other words, I'm just going to be happy as I'll get out. Because I enjoy new experiences. I truly, it's like when I first moved down here where I'm at now, back in 2020. No, it was 21. Excuse me, 2021. End of 2020, first of 2021. It was January 21 that I moved down here. Not into this apartment, but down here. And I just absolutely loved the place, and I knew I would. All right, Jerry, you have a good night, man. Take care. I got my cut coming up. Hey, Mike, how you doing, man?
Pretty good. Pretty good. How you doing?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Like I said, I don't know if you knew about my teeth.
No. What happened?
Well, I had a bridge, and I don't know how much you know about bridges in your mouth. What they do is they take two teeth, file them down, and they put the bridge in, and the teeth in between, the one or two teeth in between, is false, and the bridge connects to your real teeth.
Okay.
All right, so I had two false teeth plus the bridge connected to two teeth, and I guess over time the good teeth rotted, but I never felt any pain. Couldn't see it because the cover of the bridge. And so over time, it just kind of rotted out. And I was eating baby carrots, and it broke out. So now I'm
Oh,
trying to get to see if I can get. I'm not going to do a bridge again because then it would be two more teeth found down. That would be six false teeth there. I just seen if I can do it. Do a temp, a partial, and if I can get a partial done, that won't cost me much. And hey, Rona, and she's telling you hi too, Mike.
hey, how's it going, Rona?
And so anyway, that will uh, get me to where I can go to the Philippines, and if I can get more permanent done. It depends on how much they want. If I can't do a partial, it'll depend on how much money they want to fix it properly.
Yeah,
Whether or not I do it, because if they can't do the partial and I have to do more permanent work, it's going to push me back on going over to the Philippines.
yeah. I'm
So
sorry about your
it
mother.
depends on how much it's going to be. If it's going to be too much, to heck with it. I'll just wait till I get to the Philippines to get it done. It'll be a lot cheaper. I may have to put off a couple of months longer to save up a little bit more money, but
It's still gonna happen.
yeah, something's gonna happen. But whether it happens here in the States or happens overseas is the
Yeah,
question. Either way, it's going to cost me a little more, unless it's just a partial, and I like the partial. It's going to push me back some time. Doing it here will push me back farther than doing it over there. So
huh?
that's why if it's going to take more, I'll just do it over there because it won't push me back as far. I can work 2 or 3 months and more and be able to do it over there. Where if I do it here, I may have to push it back a year. And I really don't want to do that.
I hear you.
And so that's where I'm at now. I got to set up an appointment. I got a couple specialists I got to call next week, see how soon I can get in. They're out of network, but I got permission to go out of my network for my dental
Yeah,
insurance. And it depends on how long it'll be before I can get in to see them, whether or not I go out of network. I can do it in network, but I can't do it till September. That's why they gave me permission to try to go out of network. Uh,
yeah.
I'll call a couple of places if they can get me in, like let's say June or July. I'll probably go to them. If they can't get me into late August, I'll call this place and I can get in at September. See if I can still get in there in September, and I'll just wait till I can go in network. Oh, uh, I called my dental agent, our insurance, the dental insurance company, and the agent I got was in Manila.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I figured she was out. I figured out that she was in the Philippines, and somebody asked me, "Oh, because her accent?" I said, "No, because with the accent, she could be anywhere. She could be here in the States, you know.
Yeah.
Somebody have an accent. Well, that's we have people like that here in the States. But no, what told me she was not in the States was a rooster was crowing in the background.
You
So when I
gotta
heard the
love that.
rooster, when I heard the rooster crow, and I asked her, I said, Steph, can I ask you a question? She goes, what's that, Sir Larry? And I said, are you in the Philippines? She goes, yeah. I said, I heard the rooster in the background. And then she kind of laughed. And I said, what part of the Philippines are you in? She said, Manila. I said,
Yeah.
I figured you were, you know, I said, with the rooster, I figured you were in the Philippines. And I know Manila, Davao, and Cebu have a lot of call centers. So I kind of figured it would be one of those places. And
Yeah, I'm probably heading there myself for
when
a
you
little
going?
bit. I met someone
Well, that's cool. But when are you going?
As soon as I can. As soon as I can buy a ticket.
All right. Now, how did you meet this person?
Online.
Okay. Now, how long have you been talking with her?
Oh, for like, I don't know, a few weeks.
Okay. She's not asked you for any money, has she?
No.
Good. Remember, that's a red flag when they start asking for money before you ever meet. Now, does she know you're planning on going over?
Yeah.
Okay. That's another good. That's another good sign because a lot of times they find out you're coming over. If they're trying to scam you, they'll quit. They'll start cutting back. So that's another good sign that you might be having a good girl there.
Yeah.
So,
She
yeah,
is.
yeah.
My friends, warned me and so forth, and I think I'm doing all right.
All right. Have you talked to Elvie about it?
No.
All right. I know you and I both support Elvie, so that's why I was asking.
Yeah. No,
Now,
I probably could.
yeah,
LB's pretty wise on things.
that's why I said I would talk to Elvie a little bit. Or somebody else? Do you know anybody else that lives in that area?
No. Well, yes, her sister.
But do you know her sister before knowing her?
Yeah. She hooked me up.
Okay, that's okay. Now, that's knowing the family helps. Okay, but
Yeah.
but like I said, be careful. Uh, you know. Now,
Yeah.
how long are
I
you
know.
going for?
Huh?
How long do you plan on going for?
A week to 2 weeks.
Oh man, if you can't, can you go longer?
Um,
I,
if I
I,
can
I don't
afford
I
it.
don't know how your work is going. It's cheaper to live over there than it is here. I
If
don't
I
know
can
how your
afford
work
it,
situation.
I would.
Well,
And I have a dog too, so someone has to watch my dog for a
yeah,
minute.
but I mean, the reason why I'm saying because go at least 2 weeks because you're going to have jet lag. You're going to be tired when you get there. That first day or two, you're not going to feel like doing a whole lot. So you don't want to go just a week because then you only got a couple of days where you really feel decent. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you're traveling, you're going to spend anywhere from 16 to 24 hours to get there.
Wow.
Yeah.
I never
Depends
thought
on
about that.
how many stops you're making. Uh, uh, and that's counting. The 24 is counting from leaving from where you're at. Okay. It can be 16 to 20 hours or so from LA to get there. Uh, what city are you flying into?
Manila, probably.
Well, check because if you can fly into Cebu, you might be better off.
Well,
Because
I think
Manila,
I think that's closer.
uh, you can get a direct flight if you want from LA to Cebu, no stops. That'll be about probably 16 hours or less.
Yeah. I found a ticket for 849.
You, if you buy farther out, wait a couple months if you can. Look a couple months later, because right now, uh, June probably is the worst time to fly because it's going to be busy.
Okay.
All the Filipinos that go to college here going home, from other places going home. End of May, June is a bad time to fly because more people want to fly to the Philippines during that time frame. All right,
Yeah.
so if you can go in July or August, probably July would be better, and try to fly during the middle of the week.
Middle of the week.
Yeah, like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, somewhere in there. Because weekends is usually when a lot of people try to fly. So if you can fly during the middle of the week, and usually if you can fly later at night, those tickets are cheaper because they're harder to fill.
Okay.
What you want to do is you want to go on site and let them know, pick a time frame, pick the whole month if you want a July, and tell them you want a direct flight from LA to Cebu or one stop. You can go one stop. Just pick how many stops you want. Because if you make stops, usually it's cheaper, but not always. Uh, but you want to tell them, all right, I want to fly from LA to Cebu, one stop or no stop, economy, whatever you want, who was it? I was watching Amazing, I believe it was Amazing Philippines. Rod, he was doing a thing on this just last week or so. So go check his channel out. And it'll be in the last few videos he did. He did one on how to search for flights. And he showed there were some flights. It was like economy. And it was like on a Wednesday or something. Then if you went 2 or 3 months out, it was only like $350 one way.
Yeah.
So it'd be only 700 round trip. See
That's
what I'm
not
saying?
bad.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what you want to look at. You want to see what will it cost, and then you got to check how you're going to get from where you're at right now to LA or wherever you're flying out of. If you're going to fly out of LA,
Yeah.
and it'll also show you different airlines that you can take, and they'll have maybe different prices. So Rod in, like I said, Amazing Philippines. Rod is his guy's name, but it's Amazing Philippines is his channel.
Okay.
And he does a lot of studios and apartments and stuff like that, videos too. He does a lot of what you can rent.
I think my biggest worry is food. I don't eat seafood.
Well, they got other food besides seafood. You just don't eat seafood. I mean, they got pork, they got chicken. Just
Okay.
But yeah, hey, Lady V, I'm sorry I just saw you. I've been talking with Mike here.
Yeah,
But
we've been chatting.
yeah, like I said, I would check out Amazing, and I just saw it just within the last week. I don't think it's much older than that. It came up on my TV screen because I watch a lot of YouTube. And they know, YouTube keeps track of pretty much what you watch, and they know I watch a lot of things about the Philippines. And they showed me that article, that video, and I used to follow Rod before Amazing Philippines, but a lot of his videos they get lengthy. But like I said, if you're looking for that kind of information, which you should be looking for, the best time to fly, how to find a cheaper flight, that's just something you should be looking for because
Midweek.
like I said, you can save money by researching that. And
Yeah. Yeah. I just took like a maybe 5-minute search, and
no,
that's what I found.
yeah,
There
but
was
like I
tickets
said,
up to $2,000, and I was
oh yeah,
like,
oh yeah, they're expensive. The sooner you want to leave, the more it's going to cost you. The farther out you can put it, the less it'll cost you. You want to go, if you can, you want to go 2 to 3 months out. I can't make any plans yet because I don't know what this is going to cost me. I don't know how much money I'm going to have saved up. Right now, I'm hoping to be able to leave by the end of February, but I have a feeling I'm going to have to extend my lease, and I can do it month by month, but it's going to cost me more
right.
each month. But so that's what I'm planning on doing. Like I said, if I decide I have to go a year, then I'll extend a year. But I hope I don't. I really don't want to work that much longer. Because if I extend, I have to keep working.
Right.
Right. If I extend and stay here, I'm not saving any money.
Right. I'm sorry about your mother. I know you were saying you wouldn't go until your mother passed.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, she passed. She was 99.
She lived a good life.
Yeah, she always said she didn't want to live to be 100. And so now, right now, I'm worried about my oldest sister. She was going home for the funeral, and she didn't want to wait on her oldest son so he could meet her in Indianapolis. She flew into Indianapolis and was going to get a car, and she was riding that moving sidewalk or whatever they call that thing.
The
The
escalator.
conveyor belt that's like a sidewalk.
Yeah.
And she was not. I don't think she was paying enough attention, and so she fell when she was getting off, and she fell on her back and hit her head.
Oh,
And my sister was born with a real bad curvature of the spine, and she fell on her back. So she spent about 10 days in the hospital in Terre Haute, didn't even get to make the funeral. Uh, then she came back to New York. She lives up around Batavia, which is about halfway between Buffalo and Rochester. She lives right outside of that, or did. And so they got her in a place in Leroy, which is where I used to live. And ended up in the hospital a couple more times for different things besides her back. She came down with COVID and no, not pneumonia. It was COVID and some other kind of. She had a urinary infection. Then she came down with
oh,
COVID
wow.
and something else, and they got all that straightened out. She went in for one thing, got back to the rehabilitation center. A couple of days later, she had to go back in for the other. I think the first was a urinary tract, but so anyway, she spent almost another week in the hospital in Batavia between those two things. And when she got out, well, the rehabilitation center in Leroy was full, so they took her to Brockport. I had to think of the right name. Brockport Rehabilitation Center, which was right next to the hospital, which was a good location. Well, she finally got out and she moved to Batavia at a assisted living home. Her and her husband are there.
Okay.
So she gets up and walks and stuff like that. I don't know if it's going to be permanent. I doubt it, but it could be. I'll wait until I see her. I talked to her today.
I'm glad she didn't break a hip.
No, she didn't break a hip. Or she just, like I said, she's in a lot of. She was in pain. She was born with a curvature of the spine, which causes her a lot of pain to begin with every once in a while. So falling on that spine really, really set the pain level up. I mean, real high. She couldn't get out of bed without help. She couldn't, she was just in a lot of pain. And the pain medication they had to give her really kept her loopy for a long time, trying to deal with her pain. Because, I mean, she was in excruciating pain. And, she was in excruciating because I know my sister, she can take a lot of pain. She had, like I said, she dealt with pain all her life. She was born with that.
Right.
And there for a long time, she couldn't even read a book, and she loves to read, but she was just so much pain that trying to read would just hurt too much. And so she finally got it better enough that she could get out of the rehabilitation center. And she is now at assisted living where she's still getting the help, but it's not as intense as it was, So in other words, she can still do some things now on her own where she couldn't before. I'm sure she's still taking pain medication, but she's up and walking around by herself.
That's good.
My brother-in-law walks with her, but I mean, she's not had somebody walking her, I don't believe she's got a shadow. What I call a shadow is that thing that you push around an IV cart. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I have
I've never heard it called that, but yeah.
It was my shadow. Everywhere I went, it went with me, just like a shadow. I had one for five days one time. I had a infection of my leg where I was real dehydrated. I had what they call cellulitis.
You're diabetic too, aren't you?
Huh?
You're diabetic.
I wasn't at that time. This is far enough back that I hadn't been. I had been diagnosed with diabetes. I got checked all the time, but I wasn't diabetic yet. This has been quite a few years ago. And anyway, I spent, what was it? No, I was diabetic at that time. Yeah, I was. I remember I got one shot of insulin in the whole 5 days I was there because everything was controlled and I didn't have to. My sugar they checked my sugar all the time, but like every 4 hours they checked my sugar, and I only had to get one shot. In 5 days, that was it.
I don't know if you can tell, but I lost about 40 pounds.
Your face does look a little thinner.
Yeah, I feel better. I'm still going.
Huh? You're still what?
I'm still going. I'm still losing weight.
Okay. Now, are you
I've been,
diabetic now or what?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I got on Ozempic, and that's helped a lot with my
I take
weight.
a Ozempic, one shot a week.
I got a 2 milligram, one shot a week.
I think mine's 1 milligram.
Well, I got two,
Yeah,
and it's working.
yeah. I believe mine's only one. I think the ones I got when I first got it, I took like half a milligram for a while. Then they kicked me up to make sure I could handle it and wouldn't no adverse effects. And I did that for a few months, and then they kicked me up to 1 milligram. And
Yeah.
that's on the pen I get. That's all you can take.
Have you lost
Goes up to
any
one.
though?
Huh?
Have you lost any weight?
I did when I started taking it, but I've been taking it for a while. And then now, like I can't walk as much because my arch has gone bad on me. So
Go to the VA and get yourself a good pair of walking custom-made orthotics before
I'm
you
trying.
go.
They gave me some that are they help some, but they're not the custom made ones. So I got to get a hold of them again, get back in there, and see if I can get the custom made ones. Uh,
Yeah, I got those and they're nice.
yeah.
I mean, I actually like wearing them in the
I'd love to.
house.
I'd love. I got my boots on right now. They got the arch sport in them. I usually don't have the boots on at this time, but I left them on today. But yeah, I was walking before my arches went bad. I was walking anywhere from 10 to 12,000 steps or more a day. Some days a whole lot more. Most days were about 10,000, but there was days I'd walk in 15, 20 because I'd go out and do walking videos.
Yeah,
And but I was walking 10,000 just doing my normal job and my normal walking. And I was
yeah,
losing weight at that time. And on my days off, if I didn't go do anything else, I'd go to the gym, get on the treadmill and walk. And
well, I haven't even done that. I haven't rode bike. I haven't. I'm just losing it.
uh,
I can't believe how fast I've lost it. My pants, even with a belt, they're hard to keep up.
yeah.
I have to buy new pants.
I don't mind buying new pants except for one reason. There's only one reason I hate buying new pants. I can't buy them to fit my leg length. I'm very short legged. 28s are too long, way too long. I wear about a 25.
Oh wow.
My dad had the same problem. Well, not the same problem. The same problem as far as body build. My dad was like 6'3", 6'4". He only wore a 30-inch leg length.
Well, that's
No, that's not for a guy that tall. That's very short legged. My older brother was like 5'11", and he wore a 30.
huh.
I know guys that are 5'8" that wear 30.
I think I'm 34,
And how tall are you?
6'3", about 6'2", 6'3".
My dad was 6'3", 6'4", and he wore a 30.
Dang.
So, like I said, I got my dad's build. I just didn't get his damn height. And talking about that, talking about shoes, I have on my Instagram. I don't really post anything on Instagram, but I'm on Instagram. I do post once in a blue moon. But anyway, I seen them advertising these shoes that give you a lift of 3 inches, so it make you 3 inches taller. I thought, if my feet didn't bother me, that might be cool because then I could buy 28s and not have to have them cut down. Not because I want to be taller, but because I
Yeah.
don't. Because it cost me about half the price or more of the new pants to have them cut down to fit me.
Yeah. When I lost weight, I had to go cut some of my length off too. And I took my stuff to a tailor and got it done. It cost an arm and a leg.
Yeah. And every time I buy a new pair of pants, every new pair of pants has to be done that way. I don't care how well they fit my waist. I can't buy them short enough. Now, in the Philippines, I could probably find my leg length in adult size. if I could lose more weight. If I could lose a couple 100 pounds, I could probably find them in children's.
Yeah.
But I'd have to get way, I'd have to be sickly thin. I could never get that thin. That would be.
If they upped your stuff, I bet you could probably lose like I did.
Yeah.
Because they started me off at 1 milligram, and then they didn't went to 2, and that was pretty.
Well, mine I start off at 5, which I think is 5 milligrams, or
5.
no, a half, a half, 0.5. Excuse me.
Oh, okay.
Then I go up to a 1. And that's what the pin says. It says you got a half, which is a 5.5, half a dose, and the full dose is 1. And so I'm assuming that's milligrams.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I take 1 milligram once a week. I do it on Wednesdays.
Hey, me too.
Well, I used to do it on Monday, then I forgot. Well, actually, what happened is I was on vacation, and I asked them not to send it because I called up and asked them not to send it. Well, they sent it anyway, and it was sitting outside my apartment for a few days, and they said don't use that. So they had to send me another one. So by the time it got to me, it was a day later. So now I couldn't take it till Tuesday. And then something happened. I didn't get it do it on a Tuesday, so I went ahead and did it the next day, a Wednesday, and I got my alarm set on my phone to remind me every Wednesday, hey, you got to take your shot. So now it's on Wednesday, but I started off trying to do it on a Monday.
Yeah, I take my shot with my other medicine, so I never forget it.
Yeah.
I think I've only forgotten it once, and that I don't know if I actually really forgot it or didn't have it, because when I first got prescribed it, I had problems obtaining it and having extra.
Well,
That
the VA issues mine.
Oh yeah.
I get mine right through the VA, and they call me up when they say, "Hey, look, it's time for you to reorder." All my medicine comes through the VA. All the medicine I take that's actually prescribed medicine, I get through the VA.
Yeah.
The glifoside, the I can't think of it. I take one medicine for my thyroids. I take another medicine for it's mostly for my cholesterol.
Now, are you planning on continuing seeing the VA in the Philippines, or what are you
No,
planning on
my
doing?
stuff's not VA connected. So the only once you go to the VA, if it's not service connected, yeah, I think they'll see you the first month. Then after that, they won't see it unless it's service connected, unless they change the rules again. And that was the last ruling. They don't have a hospital; they got a clinic. They no longer so, but with the new bases being built, they may change that. They're going to have more and more military people there.
Yeah.
So they may
Well, I
come up.
think they take care of me right now on everything.
Yeah, they do with me. The only
Every
thing they don't
stinking
do,
little thing they take care of.
the only thing they don't take care of for me is my teeth.
I wonder if they'll give me a
I get my
vasectomy.
I get my glasses through the VA, all my medication, my foot, when I have foot problems, I go to the VA. But the only thing they don't do is my teeth. I wish they did the teeth. I wouldn't be so worried about the cost. It'd be a lot cheaper through the VA. Because I checked with them about the teeth when this happened. And they said no, they don't do the teeth.
Well, technically, I'm service connected on that too, because I did chip my tooth but I never went and talked about it or brought it up or anything like that. But I'm sure they got medical records of me that happening, and being that happened, I'm they have to go and take care of me dentally wise.
I don't know if they have to do all the dental. Maybe just that tooth. I wouldn't know.
No, I've read the statutes on it on how
Well,
the
I
how.
chipped a tooth when I was in the Navy too, but I've never brought that up.
Well, you should. I you should.
Uh, I had a they did and I also got a gold foil they did on my teeth in the
Huh.
Navy. So yeah, I had
Well,
some
I'd
dental
bring
work
that
when I
up
was
if
in
I
the
was
Navy.
you.
Huh?
I'd bring that up if I was you.
Maybe when I go in for the next doctor's appointment, I'll bring it up and see what's going on.
Because
Or
that
the podiatrist.
qualifies you if you had any type of injury to your mouth
Yeah.
while you were in service. Is your service connected? They have to give you dental, no matter what your percentage is.
Hey, Brad, how you doing?
Hey, Ren.
I think I know who this one is. I have a couple Rens that follow me. There's Betty and
Yeah,
Irene. I
yeah, I
think
know
it's,
who that is.
yeah. She just said hi to both of us.
They're legit. Hey, Ren.
And we got, like I said, we got Rona here. And Rona follows Elvie and a few others. But yeah, so like I said, I got to find out what all this is going to cost me. And like I said, if it's going to cost me a lot of money, it's not being done here in the States unless the VA does it.
Yeah,
Not get,
fight for it. Fight for it.
yeah. But like I said, it's not going to be done here. I'll just wait till I get to the Philippines and get it done. It'll save me a
Yeah,
lot of money. I'll have to work a few more months, and it's going to cost a lot of money just to save up more money. But it'll get me over there quicker if I do it over there than if I do it here. Because I'd have to work at least a year more if I do it here, if it's going to cost a lot of money. And one of my friends says, "You're too optimistic." I said, "No." I said, "I'm not." I said, "I hope to be able to go within a year." So you hope for the best, but you plan for the worst. You
yeah,
know. So my hope is to go to early next year, like I was planning on, in end of February. But I have to be prepared if I have to stay another year. Uh, I hope to God I don't have to stay that long.
yeah.
I'm I'm tired of working, man,
I don't blame you.
and I can't live here without working. It's that
Right?
simple. I mean, uh, I might be able to go back to Indiana and do it, but I'm still not getting out of the cold. Hey, big boy, how you doing?
This is Murph.
Yeah,
Murphy.
yeah.
Stop.
But anyway, like I said, so I want to go somewhere warm, and I want to be able to live just on my Social Security. My Social Security isn't as much as I make working. I mean, the only reason I live as well as I do is I work, and I make more money working than I will when I retire. So,
Yeah.
I won't. I'm trying to think. I
Social
don't make
Security and everything
my
else.
my Social Security uh, take home. My take home is more than my Social Security from work. My take home.
Yeah.
We're not talking about what I make. We're talking about my take home is a lot more than my Social Security. 3 weeks take home is about equal to 1 month Social Security.
Yeah.
And then we're talking like I said, we're talking the take home. Uh, so that's why I'm able to save money because I couldn't afford the apartment I'm living. Well, I could, but I had to give up my car. I couldn't have a car, or at least not one I got payments on. Uh,
Yeah.
I'd have to be driving a much older car. I'd have to give up doing going anywhere. Uh, you know how I donate money to some of the people to help with their giveaway.
Yeah.
That would be done. I'd have to quit that. Uh, So, and I may have to quit that once I move to the Philippines because, like I said, I won't have near as much money coming in. It'll depend on what it costs me to live there, and that's what I won't know until I get there.
Right.
And like I said, right now my goal is Cebu, but that don't mean that's where I'll stay because I may decide it's too big, too noisy, too much traffic, too much
Too touristy.
too touristy. Uh, like I said, I know for the first month or two I'm going to love it. That's just me. I love going new places. Unless it's just so horrible, I'm going to love it. But I still want to look at some other places. That's why I said I'd like to sign at least a 6-month lease.
Yeah.
Apartment I like at least that long, because it's going to take me 2 to 3 months just to get over the newness of the place. So I'll probably sign a year, and then if I decide I don't like it, or maybe it's like, well, it's okay, but let's see if I can find something better, then I'd like to check out places like Iloilo, maybe Davao, maybe someplace on Luzon, Cavite area, which is not too far from Manila, but it's not in Manila. Because if Cebu's too big, Manila's going to be way too big,
Yeah.
So maybe somewhere close to there, but not there. Maybe Dumaguete or Valencia. But there again, it's going to say, well, how much does it cost to live in those places? Because that comes into I got to be able to afford the place I want to live in and still do things I want to do.
Right.
I don't want to live like I want to live a lower middle class life, which is what I'm living here. And I can do that on just my work and not my Social Security. There are apartments that cost a whole lot more than where I live in this area. There's apartments in this apartment complex that they've remodeled that cost a whole lot more than my apartment. Once I move out, they'll remodel this whole place and they'll cost a lot more money for the next person because they have new owners. And the new owners are fixing things up and improving things. So as long as I stay here, they can only raise my rent by so much each time I sign a contract. And I sign a contract by year, so right now it'll go up. But like I said, other places that are, I stayed at a friend's parents' place when I first moved down here. They were living with my friends, and the father was sick, so they were staying. Well, he wasn't sick yet, but he was not feeling well, and so they were living with my friend. So I stayed at their apartment, and it's not much. It's a little nicer, but it's not much nicer than this one. But like I said, this was in 2021. It was over $1,000 a month. This place still isn't at $1,000, and I've been here almost 5 years.
Yeah.
So it's a lot cheaper than there, and that was probably a middle class to maybe upper middle class in this area place of living. Now this was getting fixed up to be rival to that. The complex is. They already had a swimming pool, but they already had a basketball court, but they put in a couple dog parks, redid the basketball court, made it much nicer than what it was, redid the swimming pool area. It's a whole lot better than I did a video on that. If you want to see that, there's a video on them doing the swimming pool. I showed them when they started and all that good happy stuff and how it looks when they got done. So yeah, they've done a lot of work since they bought this place a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And,
They're going to jack up the rent for the next person that comes and lives
well,
there.
the next person, if you move out, it's going to cost a lot more to move in.
Yeah.
So like I said, they can only raise your rent in New York by so much, a certain percentage every year. That's it. All right. But if you move out, the next person, they've had that rent jacked up. But what they'll do, and I'd love to get a video of showing one before, and then showing one after it's done. Hey, Valmerez, how you doing, man? Welcome to the channel. He's been here. They've been here before.
Okay.
But he's there. Valmerez is saying hi to you.
Hey, how's it going, sir?
I'm not. I can't. Valmerez, I think, is a female, but I'm not sure.
Oh, how you doing, ma'am?
Let me look.
Don't want to misgender you. Not my intention. Yeah.
Yeah, female. I just went and
Yeah.
looked at the channel.
Did I tell you what happened to me?
No.
I was trying to clean out my gutters and I got up on the roof, and when I tried to get back down the ladder, I missed the rung. Fell 8, 10 feet probably. And I landed on my feet, but I fell backwards into a awning, a 6x6, bruised my ribs.
Yeah. And I don't know how true this is. This is something my father told me. He fell off a ladder. He said he was painting something and forgot he was on a ladder, stepped back and fell. He stepped back to borrow his work,
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know how true it is, but that's what he told me.
Yeah.
But yeah, but now I don't know how far up he was. He may not have been as high as what you were. But yeah, it's.
I couldn't move for a while.
Oh no! Like I said, well, think about my sister. She fell on her back and already had a bad back.
Yeah.
She couldn't move for weeks.
Oh, that didn't help my back at all either.
Yeah, so she couldn't move for weeks, man, without help.
Yeah.
And so yeah, but she's doing better. That really made me happy. Said my friend stopped by and wanted to talk. Said I'm coming by. Want to talk to John. That's her husband, because we didn't know. My sister is not always feeling up to talking, so I called John, and I let her talk to John, and then he goes, "Oh, you want to talk to Wanda?" And I walked over, gave the phone. And Wanda was just as happy as all get out to be talking to her. Like I said, they're great friends. They're better friends than I am.
Yeah.
And LV, welcome, LV. Thank you for coming. I don't know how much longer Mike and I'll be going, but have you told her your news yet?
No, I haven't.
Well, go ahead and tell her your news.
Oh, I'm thinking about going to take a trip to the Philippines.
Did you hear that, LV? Mike's going to go to the Philippines. Before me, the bub. She goes, Mike, been a long time. How are you?
Doing good. Doing good. I don't know if you can tell or not, but I lost about 40 pounds.
She goes, wow, really, Mike? That's awesome. And she's talking about you going to the Philippines.
Yeah.
He met someone, LV.
Yep. I wanted to, and I did.
Now, Mike, I'm trying to remember. Are you single? I mean, married?
Oh yeah.
No. I know you're single. What I mean is,
Divorced.
are you retired?
Yes.
Okay. Now,
Yes, I'm fully
if you ever
retired.
decide to move to the Philippines, you can take your dog with you.
Oh yeah.
There's a guy named Sendex. I'm trying to remember how. It's a channel.
I heard they
It's not his real name.
quarantined the dog for a few days.
Well, yeah, but they took their dog over with them. It's a Phil-Am couple. His real name is Richard something, but his channel's SLF or something like that. I'd have to look it up to see exactly how he spells it. but he'd be something you'd want to reach out to
Yeah.
if you want to take your dog.
Yeah, I looked it up a little bit. I didn't go in deep detail, but I
Well,
knew
no,
they had to quarantine
until
the
you decide
dog.
whether or not you want to go over permanently, that's something you would. Did you see my whiteboard video?
No,
All right, I got a whiteboard video where
I
you
missed a
list the.
lot of people's stuff for the last couple of
Well,
months.
this
I
is
haven't been
I
able to.
list down the stuff that I need to do before I go permanent, and if I need find other stuff, I'll add to it. So what you want to do is you get a whiteboard, you write down everything you know you have to do if you're going to go permanently. Like make sure your passport is got more than 6 months left on it when you go, because they won't let you in if you got 6 months left or less left on your passport. So if you haven't if you already had your passport for a while, make sure it's got over six
I got to
months.
get one.
Huh?
I got to get one.
All right, go ahead and get it now because you won't be able to go till you get it. You're going to have it with you. So you might as well
Yeah.
order it now. That'll take you a month or two to get it. So you're going to have to wait a couple months to go. So now look out 2 months or longer after you send that in, your information in, to get your passport. Then you start looking to see how long, 2 or 3 months out, how much cheaper it'll be to fly. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Then you got to decide how much cash you want to take with you. And remember, take $100 bills unmarked, no creases, like they're brand new, because they will not cash them over in the Philippines unless they're in that kind of very pristine condition. Okay.
Okay.
So figure out how much money you want to take with you, and then
I can't go to an ATM and pull out whatever the pesos or whatever.
you can, but you're going to want some money with you because you don't want to go. You don't want to. How should I say this? They may not take your ATM card, your. I don't know if I'd want to do it in the airport. So if you can't find a place to buy pesos here, you can buy pesos here. See if your bank will buy them for you. Some banks will.
I could probably send it to myself through Remitly for free.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, though, you want cash with you because when you get to the airport, how are you going to get to your hotel?
Oh yeah.
You got to have. What if you want to get something to eat?
Right.
You know,
Well, that
remember a lot
just
of these
goes for
places
saying.
don't. If you don't have cash, they're not taking it, and you really don't want to go to the airport ATM where everybody can see you cashing $100 bill or whatever, or pulling $100 worth of money out. I'm not. All it takes is one criminal to see you do that. In an airport, there's probably going to be criminals sitting around to see who's doing that. Because
Yeah.
remember, criminals go where there's a lot of people. That's the same thing here in the States. That's the same thing in Mexico. That's the same thing in any country you want to go to. Criminals are going to be around large crowds.
Hello,
they can
Anna
pick out,
G.
so they can pull people out. Anna G, how you doing, Anna G? So you got to be careful with your money. So if you can take pesos with you,
Right.
that's something I'm going to look into when it gets closer for me to go. I know my bank doesn't sell it because I checked with them already. But there are other ways to get it. And Anna G wants to know, is this Mike Hunt? Yes, it is, Anna G. And Ellie says, you really lost weight, Mike. Like I said, you can tell in your face. Your face has gotten a little thinner. But so like I said, you got to decide when you're going to go, how you're going to go, how much money you're taking with you, how you, like you said, money, send it to yourself or something else. How you're going to get more money when you're there. These are things you got to look at. And that's why I say, take a look at my YouTube video on my whiteboard, or let's see if I can pull that up. Not to you, but
I'm doing fine, Anna G. Yeah, I'm on medicine to lose weight. I'm on Ozempic.
yeah. The name of the video is My Whiteboard Checklist. It's about a little over 3.5 minutes long. So go ahead and take a look at that one. It'll give you won't probably want the same thing. You may want the same thing, but that'll give you an idea of some of the stuff. And like I said, you can think of other things that you may want to add, or you may think, well, I don't need that information, because like when you do travel.
No, Anna G. It's just
All right,
I'm on
we
Ozempic.
appreciate that, LV. I don't know how much longer I'm going to go. What time are you starting yours, LV? Whoa, I just lost Mike. LV, what time are you starting your stream? There he is. He's back.
I backspaced or whatever you want to call it.
Oh, it happens. It happens. I've done it myself. I took myself out. But in 10 minutes, a good chance I'll still be going, LV. But once I finish, I'll take a little break and I'll go in the living room and hook my phone up to my TV and check you out.
Yeah.
No, Anna G, I still look, like a friend of mine says, I still look like a hillbilly hick. Every time she sees me smile, she laughs. But I got to call a couple specialists this week. I can't do it Monday because it's a holiday here.
Right.
It's a day of remembrance of our military fallen, our fallen military people, along with. I also like to remember the police and the far people as well. I think to me it's a Memorial Day or day of remembrance of all the people who gave their life in the service of this country. That includes
Right.
police and fire department and paramedics. I mean, you look at 9/11. There was a lot of people in a lot of different fields that died that day. So.
Yeah, that's true.
And Annalise says, "You're still cute, Sir Larry." Oh, thank you. You're sweet.
Anna G, you forgot about me.
But yeah, it is a I've been lucky. The people I've lost were not lost in wars. Well, I don't
Yeah.
know. I got a cousin that did 5 tours or 6 tours in Vietnam. Last time
Dang.
I saw him, he was going back for his 5th or 6th. And I didn't see him. He was a lot older than myself, and I didn't see him that much before that. My great grandfather, I believe it was his great grandfather, our great uncle, I can't remember which. We were there for the funeral, and he happened to be home on leave.
Thank you, Anna G. You made my day.
You Pogie. See, I'm only cute. You're Pogie. I'm glad to help her out. Ellie's newest niece, was born with a little bit of jaundice, I believe. So I sent some money to give to her sister-in-law and brother to help with the baby.
Yeah.
Ellie says we're both Pogie.
Yeah. Thanks, LV. It's you examining me this time. I always examine her. I always tell her she looks good. She does.
Yeah. I can't. I know the one word. I can. When I start to spell it, it comes out, but I don't know how to pronounce it. Where it means beautiful or gorgeous. And Addie says that kind of body suits you, Mike. Sir Mike, actually.
Yeah.
The fact that you lost 40 pounds suits you.
Yeah, I'm still going.
Yeah.
I'm not even trying, and I'm losing it.
Yeah.
Well, I am trying. I've cut down the amount of food I've eaten,
That's trying.
but besides that, I haven't really had to go and stress myself. I haven't had to work out. I haven't had to run or bike or walk or anything like that.
Well, I have to because if I don't, that's the problem I'm facing right now. Is because when my feet weren't bothering me, my back didn't bother me, my knees didn't bother me hardly, and now that I can't walk a lot, my back hurts more, my knees bother me more.
Right.
Uh,
It's a vicious circle.
yeah, and so I like to, and that's because of the weight plus being out of shape. So I'd like to get that back down. I'll never be in great shape. It's just not going to happen at my age. Let's be honest about it. But I can be in better shape than what I am, and that's
Yeah.
what I'd like to do.
That's possible.
Yeah, it's possible to get in better shape, but I'm never going to get down to 170 pounds from 300. Not going to happen. The
I
only way
remember
that,
when I was 197 pounds.
man, I'd love to be that low.
I
I'd
was
like to
the
be,
skin and bones.
not me. No, I would actually look good at 190 because of my build. All right. Like I said, when you're short legged, that means you're long body, so the body hides the weight better. That's the
Yeah.
truth.
Yeah.
I mean, says, I want to take
Yeah.
Sir Larry home, especially when he smells. Girl, please fix our bag. Let's take Sir Larry home. And if you like this smell, you're sick, girl. Oh, needed a good laugh. Thank you. Oh, I got my best night's sleep last night too, all week.
You got
Oh,
sleep apnea too, don't you?
yeah.
Yeah, I've got that. I've done better sleep too since I've
You,
lost weight.
have you been using the machine?
No, no. They gave me a machine and it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough air. I was choking.
Uh, well, all they got to do is turn the air pressure up.
No, it was turned up. I need to get a BiPAP. Are you familiar with that?
No.
It's like a CPAP machine, but it's got oxygen built into it. So I'd have to have a tank, oxygen tank.
Uh, never, never had that. I
That's
don't need that.
serious.
Yeah,
That's the next step after a CPAP.
yeah. Well, I've never had to worry about that. She goes, "How's your Anna G wants to know how your sleep, Sir Mike? No more insomnia? Don't you?
No, I still have insomnia, but I deal with it.
Do you still pee often?
Oh yeah, my medicine does that to me.
Well, actually,
You brought it up.
if you're diabetic, your diabetes does it to you.
Well, I was telling her about it. She thought that I had a urinary tract infection, and I don't. I just my medicine makes me go.
Yeah. And Ellie says, "Girl, okay, let's get a bigger bag, girl." They're talking about taking me home. You're going to need a gigantic bag. But no, your sugar diabetes makes you pee more often.
Yeah,
that's how
but
you
the
get your
Jardians
sugar
makes
out.
me.
Huh?
Jardians.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, with sugar diabetes, you pee more because that's how you get rid of the sugar. That's one way you get rid of
Right,
sugar.
right. But it
Uh,
makes you go more.
yeah, I know that. That's, believe me, I know that. I get up at least once a night.
Yeah. I get
Now,
up probably 2 or 3 times during the night.
I used to. I used to get up 2 or 3 times. Now, usually it's once.
Yeah.
Oh, Anna G says, bring 2 bags, girl. We'll take 2 of them.
Wow.
uh, uh, good day, good day. But anyway,
Yeah. Made my day.
yeah,
Made my
like I
day.
said, just look up my, my channel, Lazy Larry Lee. Just look up my whiteboard checklist, and that'll give you some ideas what stuff you got. Because remember, you also, now this you can't do till 72 hours at the earliest before you travel, is to fill out the e-travel list before you go. It's done online. You got to do it online. From my understanding, it's fairly easy to do, and a lot of people don't do it till the day they travel.
Huh.
It's something you got to do online. That I haven't done it. I haven't looked it up yet, but it's on my whiteboard list, so you can
Well, I
look it
still have
up.
to get my real ID and my passport
No, no.
and
If
all
you get your
that.
passport, you don't need a real ID.
Well, my state requires me to have a real ID, and I haven't got it
For
yet.
what? If they
To
say you got to
travel.
have one, if they say you got to have one to fly, you don't. If you got your passport, if you got your passport, you don't have to have a real ID. At least that's
Okay.
what I understand, because I don't have a real ID and I'm not getting one. I have my
Yeah.
passport. So if I want to fly domestically, you either have to show your passport or have a real ID. My understanding, you can show your passport to fly domestically and not have to show a real ID. That's the
Yeah.
only way that's now if you want to go into the state buildings or the federal buildings, you have to have your passport if you don't have a real ID. So once you get your, now the real ID probably be quicker. But if you don't want to get a real ID, you don't have to, as long as you're getting that passport. You don't have to go in any of those buildings before that. I have my passport, and it's good till 29,
Yeah.
20, trying to think, 28, I think. Mine's good for another 3 years. I believe September, I believe it's in 28 mine expires, my passport. So I got a long time before I have to, the only way I'll get a real ID is, let's say I decide to get a motorcycle endorsement, and I can do that without buying a motorcycle. If I can do that, I would get the real ID because I'd have to get a new license anyway. So why not get the real ID with it?
Yeah.
And the only reason I would get the motorcycle endorsement is so it'd be easier to rent a bike and get a motorcycle endorsement in the
I've
Philippines.
never gotten that. I've tried to get it, and they ask questions that I'm not familiar with, even though I looked in the book that's not in the pamphlet. It's I've tried
Tried what?
to get a permit for to get a motorcycle.
Well, in Indiana, it's easy. I had a permit already.
No, no.
It was when you just went in and got a permit. You just told them you wanted a motorcycle permit. It's not on your license. They give you a separate permit.
I
All
haven't
right.
got a permit.
You can get a permit in Indiana when I lived there without getting the license endorsed. All right. You don't have to have your motorcycle license. You just have to have a permit, which is separate from your license. All right.
Yeah, but I tried for the permit and I couldn't get it.
How come?
I
Did you
like I
go to
said, I
did you
kept
go to the
messing
license?
up.
Did you go to the license bureau?
Yeah.
They told you couldn't have a permit.
Well, I couldn't pass.
What was wrong?
Like I
Eyesight?
said, they had questions on there about
Well,
different things, and I had no clue about.
okay. Well, find the rules of license online if you have to, and study the questions. Go in and take the written test. Because now in Indiana, when I lived there, the only difference between a licensed driver and a permit driver was a licensed driver can drive at night, a permit driver can't.
Yeah.
A licensed driver can give a passenger a ride, a permit rider can't. All right. A licensed driver, when I lived there,
I'm
didn't have to
familiar
wear
with it.
a licensed driver when I lived there didn't have to wear a helmet, but a permit rider did. Those are the three things that are different when I lived there. All right.
Yeah.
This is back in the 80s and 90s. That's what I was riding. All right. Now, you did not have to have another rider anywhere near you. Okay. In New York, you have to have another rider close to you. I don't know any riders, so I don't know if I can do it by going taking a training course at a motorcycle place, being trained there, showing that I know how to do it, and then take the test and get the license without ever taking the road without the trainers with me, or not. That's something I'll have to look into. I may look into that this summer, but I don't know if I'm going to. I may just see. I think I'd have to do. I can do the same thing in the Philippines. Go there, take a course, and then get my license that way.
Elvie, you still there?
Yeah,
I
she's
got a
still
little
here.
treat for you. Look here. Hey, look here.
Murphy.
Murphy.
Murphy says, I want to sleep. Leave me alone. And in case you didn't catch the conversation Elvie and Anna G was having, remember Anna G said 2 bags, girl. We'll take 2 of them. Elvie said,
Yeah.
okay, girl. Then Anna G says, is your passport ready, girl? This is a pretty long trip. And Elvie says, girl, that got laughing, crying tears.
Oh.
They're going to take us. They got to come here to get us, buddy. I'll make it
Just
easy on you. I'll go to
both of
Indiana and
us?
meet up with Mike in Indiana.
Hey, I'll come there.
But so yeah, like I said, because in Cebu, I will not need a license for
Yeah.
driving motorcycles. I will not ride a motorcycle in a city that large. But like if you want to travel, that's when you're going to need the license, because unless you want to pay everybody to take you around, if you're out in the some of those areas, I'd feel comfortable riding. Some of the smaller cities, I'd feel comfortable riding. Just the large cities, that kind of traffic. All right, Elvie, we'll see you later then.
Yeah, I'll see you in a few.
She's starting her live. She said she'll send the ladies here. But so yeah, it's it'll be a different day, I guess.
Yeah.
But
It'll all work out. It just takes patience and time.
well, I have patience. I just at my age, I don't really want to waste that time, but I may have to.
Yeah.
Remember now, I'm in my 70s already.
But look
I'm
into
in
the
good
VA.
health. I'm in good health for my age, but that can always change, you know.
Right. I'd look into the VA if I was you on that teeth issue.
Well, like I said, right now, it depends on what it's going to cost. If I can do a partial, my insurance will pay for almost the entire partial. All right. So that'd be kind of a waste going to the VA, except for maybe getting it set up for when I'm over there. Okay.
Right.
But as far as getting a partial, if I can get, that's all I need right now. I can get that through my insurance. The way they're talking, they'll pay for the entire partial. But they won't pay for implants and stuff like that. But that's something that I'd like to do, but I'll do that when it's affordable. And if they're talking about I need bone grafts and stuff like that,
Yeah.
that's not being done unless the VA does it, because that's going to be way too much money, and that would cost me a year or two here more, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm not willing to do that. Well, if you're talking bone grafts and all that stuff, you're talking tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
You know, you're talking minimum an extra year.
I know in the military they had the dogs with titanium teeth and stuff, and they had like $50,000 into their mouth easily
Yeah,
for the ones that needed the teeth.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. I mean, implants aren't cheap, and then those I might be able to afford. A couple of implants, but you start talking bone grafts and all that stuff. Now they are working on growing new teeth.
Oh,
Taking
really?
taking your DNA or your cells, stem cells, are from you, and they've not done it in a human yet, but they have done it in a lab. A tooth from a stem cell.
Wow.
So that's in the future. But when that comes out, that's going to be expensive because new technology is always expensive. But that would make the regular implants a whole lot cheaper. They're
Oh,
going to say,
yeah.
why should I pay you a couple thousand when I can pay a couple thousand more and have my own real teeth? And right now you can still get implants fairly compared to what they used to cost, fairly cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, if I can get these two roots pulled out and put an implant in both of those spots, and then have the two implants in between it, two false teeth connected to the implants, if it's not too expensive, I'd do that because that would be a permanent solution for me.
Yeah.
But there again, how much money? If we're talking $10,000, I'll wait. Well, I'm not spending that kind of money here. It would cost me a whole lot less than the Philippines. And I'd rather work a couple extra months and go than work another extra year because that's what that would cost me, about another year. And I'd rather do another 2 or 3 months,
Well, hopefully you get everything else squared away.
I'm hoping. All right, Amara, thank you for coming. She's reading from Elvis. Elvis said she'd send some. That's why it says Elvis, letting you know they're reading from Elvis.
Yeah.
So we'll sit here for a little while, then we'll go join Elvis. Yeah, at least that's what I'll do. I don't know what you'll do.
I'll probably do the same.
Like I said, once I shut this down, I'm going to take a little bit of break, hit the head, and then, get something to drink. Just, fill this back up. Either that or water. I'm almost out of tea. I'll have to make another pitcher, but I won't be able to drink that tonight.
Yeah, I gotta get some lemonade. My sugar's been low.
The only time I drink sugar is if I drink pop somewhere and they don't have like Coke Zero. I may drink a root beer or a diet Mountain Dew. I try not to drink sugar too much. My sugar doesn't get real low for me.
Well, that's my thing. My sugar just keeps getting low, and I'm backing off the insulin.
Are you taking insulin along with the Zyrtec?
Yeah.
Well, see, I don't take insulin.
I do.
I don't. I haven't taken insulin in years. They had me on insulin because I'd go in and every morning it was high. I mean, every day. I'd go in every time it'd be high. And what was this? About 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago in September. It'd be 3 or 4 years ago. Can't remember exactly which year, but 3 or 4 years ago, that coming this September, I went on vacation with some friends, and we went to Boston. Okay, so about, I want to say I'd have to look it up, but about 3 years, 2 to 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And I had my insulin with me, and we changed rooms because the air conditioner was leaking and getting the floor wet. And I forgot to take, hey, Peria Shell, how you doing? Thanks for coming. Another
Hey,
rain.
Perry.
But anyway, I'm not sure how they, like I said, we pronounce it one way, they'll pronounce it another.
Yes, I
Because it's their
noticed
language.
that.
Yeah, it's their, well, that's the Filipino pronunciation, which is what way it should be, because that's their language. But anyway, when we changed room, I forgot to take the insulin. So I went down the next day to the office, and it was locked up, and nobody was going to be in until really late that day because it was a Sunday, I think. And it's like, well, I'm not waiting around. We're going back home, you know. So we checked out, and I didn't take any insulin. I thought, well, I'm just not going to take any insulin this week, and see how everything goes. And my sugar readings didn't change that much at all. So when I got home, because I had to go a few days because I wasn't home, you know, I was still living up in Rochester area. By the time I got home, it had been almost a week without taking it. And I kept taking my blood sugar, and I couldn't really notice a big difference. So I thought, well, I'm going to go see the doctor here in a couple of weeks. I'm not going to take any insulin until I go see him. And when I went in and saw him, I showed him my insulin. I took my book in that I kept. I showed him what my readings were before when I was taking the insulin and what my readings were after I quit taking the insulin. He goes, I really don't see a difference. Quit taking it. If it's not doing you any good, quit taking. That's when I found out I had what they call Donfenol, DAWN, Donfenol, which means my sugar was always higher in the morning than at night.
Okay.
I could go to bed with my sugar at 89 and wake up the next day at 200 without eating anything in between. The only time it wasn't that way is if I went to bed with 180 some, then the next day it would be lower usually.
Okay.
And so my blood sugar is not great, but the insulin really didn't do me a lot of good. So I haven't taken any insulin, like I said, 2-3 years. And they're happy with my blood sugar, so I don't take it. I noticed my picture. I don't know if it's on your end, but my picture on my end is frozen.
Yes. It's not frozen. I'm not seeing anything at all. That's see just me.
I just, yeah, there's, yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Hmm.
We'll stop the camera for a minute. We'll do
You
this.
got your avatar up now.
Yeah, that's what I said. I stopped the camera. So something's wrong with the camera, I think. Yeah. All right. We'll just do this.
All right.
We'll just,
That'll work.
yeah. Well, like I said, I mean, you know, it's better than nothing. The picture,
Right.
but I don't know what happened there. But hey, that's the way it goes sometimes. So it's just,
StreamYard. That's all you gotta say.
I don't know if that's StreamYard or my camera. You know, my camera is not on my computer. It's an added. I would show you, but I can't because the camera's not working. But my computer did not come with my monitor did not come with a camera. There's no camera on my monitor. So I have an add-on, and it's knocked out. Sometimes I have to unplug it, and I mean,
Uh-oh.
that's all right. Well, let's
I
see.
thought I lost you there for a minute.
Well, there you go. See, I just had to unplug the camera and plug it back in. I don't know.
I still don't see a picture. There we go. There we go.
Keep my hands right over it. And I can't really show you the camera, but I can show you how I move it around. It's down here, you know, look where I got it at now. So it's not on. Actually, I set it up onto the top of the desktop, but it's not actually on the. I set it on top of the monitor, but it's not
Right,
actually
right.
part of the monitor. It's a. You can buy these. They're not real expensive. You can get more expensive ones than this. And you got to remember, when I started doing this, I wasn't sure how much I was going to enjoy doing live streams.
Yeah.
And I bought this because I don't think you ever followed Chris and Sabu. Get that over there.
Chris?
Yeah,
No.
Chris and Sabu. He used to do a live stream walking around Sabu. He'd do a live stream walking on the streets in Sabu. And I first went by just my name, Larry Lee. And there was three other Larrys, or two, yeah, there were three other Larrys in the live stream a lot. There was myself, Larry Lee. There was Larry G, and I think he spelled it G-E-E. Larry B, and I believe that was just his initial, Larry B, period. And then there was Larry Outdoors or something like that. And so I thought, well, you know, in case somebody wants to ask a question, Larry B, Larry G, and Larry Lee sound very similar. So unless you're paying close attention, you may not notice that they're actually asking you a question. If he reads it or he asked you a question. So I thought, I'll change it to Lazy Larry, still LL. And so that would, you know, he could always just say lazy or something like that if he wanted.
Yeah.
And people started asking me how come I was using the name Lazy, because I'd always tell them I just got off work, or, you know, or I'd mention, well, I wish, you know, I'm going to be late, because he always started around 8 and I'd get off at 8 if I worked 12 hours. And I wouldn't get home until 8:30 or later. So I'd tell him, hey, I just got home from work. Sorry, I'm late. You know, type that in, you know. And so people started asking me, you know, Mike, Married to a Beautiful Woman. He's one of them. They would, because he used to be in that stream as well. Dan was in there, if you know Dan, who was just up early.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was.
I've seen Dan's stream.
Yeah, Dan used to follow Chris and Sabu. Some of these kept asking me how come I used the name Lazy Larry, because I was always working. And so I decided, well, instead of just telling everybody separately, I'll do a video and post it. So I bought I thought this way, if I enjoy it, I'll have this stuff. If not, I had the money. I wasn't broke. I was still digging my way out of debt, but I figured this could be entertainment. And that would keep me from going out and spending money. Like, I didn't drink, but, you know, go to the bar and buy Coke, you know, that's expensive.
Yeah.
Just drinking Coke and shooting pool. And plus, it would keep me from going to the restaurants and stuff like that for entertainment. So I did the video explaining how I got the name Lazy Larry and why I use it. And some people started telling me, Larry, we can't find your channel. We go there, you know, and there's all these, and I went and looked, typed in Lazy Larry, and all these cartoons popped up about some cartoon character named Lazy Larry. So I decided to change my channel name once again to Lazy Larry Lee. And if you type in Lazy Larry Lee, at least for a while, it might not be that way now, but back then, you typed in Lazy Larry Lee, my picture was the first thing that popped up. Hey, Nazel, how you doing, Nazel, if you're still here? So that's why I ended up being Lazy Larry Lee. And then I did a video on explaining why I changed the name. And I did a few other videos before that. But they were all pretty much talking heads sitting here like this and talking about, you know, before I was Lazy Larry. I lived in 18 houses by the time I was 12. Okay. And I talked about that. I talked about lost loved ones, my father passing away, my older brother. Can't remember. Yeah, my younger brother had already passed away. So talked about lost loved ones and all that before. And they were just this, you know, if you're sitting in front of a camera talking, to me, that's a talking head. Now, this is not because we're doing a live stream. This is different. But I'm saying if you're sitting down, you're not talking to anybody else, you're just talking to the camera and making a video, you're doing a talking head video. And Anna G's back from LV. We appreciate Anna G. And so that's what my first few videos all were talking heads. Then I did an unboxing, and then I did this and that. Then I started doing walking videos, and not live stream, just walking videos. And so that's how I just kept growing on what I was doing. I went and did a car show, a few videos on a car show. Lake George has a motorcycle rally every year. Last year I went to it, did a video on the motorcycle rally up there where they had Can-Ams and Harley Davidsons and everything else up there. Went up there one day and did a few videos on that. So like I said, I just kept doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And this last video I did got over 1,400 views. There's this lawn ornament right up the street from me, just outside of my apartment complex. We got this skeleton sitting on a lawnmower, wearing a shirt or something, and I thought that was kind of neat. So I put down, it's called a Bone Tired, is what I called the video, and I pretended I was the skeleton going, every time I get the grass cut, it rains, and I gotta cut it again. I am bone tired. And then I say something a little bit afterwards, and then I ended. It was a little over 30 seconds, or right around 30 seconds, and it's got over 1,400 views.
Yeah.
But I thought it was kind of neat. Here's this skeleton sitting on a lawnmower, like he's gonna cut the grass, and it keeps raining up here. And just, hey, let me make this short video here real quick. So that's what I did. And now some of them I think that just going to get a few views. They do really well. Like I did one on a giant dog. I thought I'd be lucky to get 50. I got about 500 to 1,000 on that. So, yeah, it was. It's you just don't know what's going to hit and what's not going to hit. And so yeah. I want to go a few more. Oh, we're over 2 hours already.
Yeah, we've gone over 2.
Yeah. Well, that's right. This clock's slow. Yeah. My one clock's on time. I got one clock that's slow. I go in the living room. That clock in there is fast. So sometimes you got to remember where you're sitting at to know which time is right.
Right.
And I've moved this one up a couple times, but it loses time again. And oh well, I don't mind the one in the living room being fast because it usually I look at it and it's like, oh, I gotta get ready to go, and then I realize, well, you got a couple extra minutes, but you still better start moving. But it's not as big a deal now when I get up now because I go in the morning. So when I get up, I'm not really sitting down to wait till time to go to work. If I'm sitting down, it's to watch the weather before I go to work. I'll do that. So.
Well, I hate to cut you off, Larry, but I have to
That's
go
all
to
right.
the
I think
bathroom.
it's time to go. I wasn't planning on going 2 hours, and Elvie's going. So if any of you are here from Elvie, let her know I'm shutting down. Mike and I will be joining her shortly.
Yes.
I'm gonna.
After this quick break.
I gotta take a break. I gotta hit the head, and then get either drink some water or add what little tea I got left into here, and maybe add some water to it to get a little more out of it. But
yeah.
So all right, everyone. Mike, thanks for coming.
Hey, no problem.
Everybody that's still out there, thank you for being here. Remember to take care of yourselves. Stay safe, stay healthy. Plus, as always, try to have fun. We're going to end it.
Oh, yeah.
Bye, everybody. Take care.
Bye.
We'll see you at Mike's. We'll see you at Ellie's, Mike.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Pamela. We're just ended, Pamela. So thanks for coming. Let Elvie know that we're ended. And we'll be there shortly. We're going to take a break. All right. Bye, Palmella. Excuse me. Palmella is the way Elvie pronounces that name. I got to try to remember to pronounce it correctly. All right,
Yeah.
Palmella. You have a good one now. Take care. Bye.
Bye.